Oh, Herman, did you get to speak about the Twitter thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he did in the very beginning.
It started, I stopped. I have a very long response to the guy. But
Yeah, I kept hearing the keys tapping away throughout the show. I'm like, oh, this is still going.
That was definitely me a little bit, but yeah.
But well, here's the thing. There's a guy named Yan LeCun. Yeah, he's referencing a tweet that says a survey of 5,699 published authors found that in 2022 their median gross pre-tax income from their books was $2,000. And then the guy, this Yan LeCun, who's an NYC professor and an AI specialist or whatever, responds, only a small number of book authors makes significant money from their book sales. This seems to suggest that most books should be freely available for download.
Oh, God.
The lost revenue for authors would be small and the benefits to society large by comparison. And then about 790 thus far stomped all over him. And he then continues to dig the hole deeper by saying, a lot of misunderstanding in the comments. I'm certainly not suggesting there should be a rule forcing authors to release their books for free or anything. But I'm just making the point that many authors are more motivated by the intellectual impact I'm just making the point. Every time I read this, I'm just making the point that many authors who are more motivated by the intellectual impact than by $1,000 of income should probably just make their book available for free download. This does not preclude publishing a paper version. The number of folks in the academic world do this, which is true, but then again. So then I went in to say, do you have any clue how long it takes to write a decent book and the costs involved in publishing? He responds back, I'm quite familiar with how much time and effort goes into writing a book. The fact that the median income of book authors is a mere $2,000 is certainly upsetting to people who are trying to make a living writing. The obvious conclusion, this is where I nail him, the obvious conclusion is that authors either don't do it for the money or have unrealistic expectations of sales. But I'm not sure I understand why this would cause you to be angry at me. So I replied to him, I quote his one statement. The obvious conclusion is that authors either don't do it for the money or have unrealistic expectations. Okay, so settle in, get a soda, because here's where I go gonzo. My first book, The Revenant in the Tomb, was originally offered as a free book. I got a handful of takers and virtually none of them read it. When I sold it, as a completely unknown author, I sold roughly 230 copies. When my next book came out, my overall sales doubled from the prior year in less than 6 months. About half of that number were The Revenant in the Tomb. When I publish my next book, I will, without a doubt, sell even more copies of The Revenant in the Tomb. And as I continue to publish more books, so long as they don't suck, I will garner more sales and followers of my writing. This is how you build a brand. It may take a decade before I start seeing real sales, but much of that has to do with output, consistency, marketing, and promotion. However, as you put it plainly, your unrealistic expectations is someone else's potential backlist moneymaker. So you've already concluded how things work, so I should just give them away. Small businesses start this way all of the time. It's been like that for centuries. Lots of them go under, but some of them, those with hard work, persistence, and a decent product, grow larger. In fact, this is how life works outside the company existence in academia. And if people are pummeling you on this issue, it's because a lot of us who live in the real world are some of us who live in the real world are tired of detached academics lecturing us about how things should work when the rest of us already know that what's being proposed is a stupid idea. Like, really stupid. People give away free books all the time. Conventional wisdom within the publishing community, and reinforced by my own results, is that this is a terrible way to get people to read your books. So in short, offering books for free is almost an assured way of not contributing to the benefit of the all. Does this clarify things for you?
Yep.
And he didn't respond.
That's
No,
excellent,
it's
I expected him
argument.
not to. Yeah.
He either would not have responded, or if he did, he would have immediately have gaslighted and said, "Oh, you don't understand his real point."
Yes, he's much smarter.
Either that, or
you know,
there's
it's
so many other
always-
people hitting him with stuff, just like you're saying, that he's overwhelmed.
You see, he hasn't watched Rick and Morty, which you need to do if you're going to understand these higher level concepts.
I'll have you know that watching Rick and Morty is statistically better for you than going to NYU. It's all in the studies.
I mean, the propaganda's still there, but it just doesn't quite hit you the same way.
This New York Times guy sounds like the same kind of like commie loser that's probably
He
out there
is.
saying, "I stand with SAG-AFTRA and
Yeah.
I support actors being paid and not and he's
Believe
like
all,
anti-AI
believe
and
all
this
women.
crap. But
Well,
he's probably
Believe
anti-AI
all
'cause he's
academics.
like, AI's not fair. It takes away jobs. It took our
Well,
jobs, and it's like
His
what you're
profile is
saying-
his profile is professor at NYU, chief AI scientist at Meta, researcher in AI, machine learning, robotics, etc. ACM Turing Award laureate.
So he's about as
you go.
useful in the
Come on,
words of
focus.
the character from
Not bad.
No,
Dodgeball.
it's
Yeah.
worse. If he's an AI scientist, he wants the free downloads so that he can perfect the AI program.
Pretty much.
I'm going to drop that. It took me 2 years to get these, by the way. I'm very excited for them. These are, for those who are wondering, these are Stormlight. These are models based off of the characters in Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight novel.
It took me 2 years to get them. Immediately drops it on camera.
It would
Oh,
have been
it's-
broken half. I'm not.
They're high quality, so they can afford to be dropped. We got a little Sylphrena here. Yeah, no, these came out so good, dude. I used to paint miniatures all the time when I was a kid. I look forward to throwing some paint back on these guys too.
But that's what it sounds like. It sounds like the guy's trying to make it free so that he can feed it through his AI program. Because here's the problem with the AI program. It's just going to keep recycling and recycling. And each time it recycles, yeah, it gets a little bit better, but it also regurgitates more garbage as the more it recycles through. Especially
like-
with all the really bad
Well,
junk
we
in the
probably
media.
have to be much more alert now when we're filling things out, because Herman, didn't you say you came across something where I wanted you to check a box saying that they could use your writing style for AI training or something?
Yeah,
Yep.
well, yeah.
Mhm.
What they did is Apple, for the audiobooks, Apple had an agreement with Findaway to say, oh, and by the way, by selling your audiobook to Apple, you sent to us to use your book to train our AI until you tell us to not do that. And I was
So
like,
shifty.
yeah, I didn't find out about it till early last year, and I'm like, okay, I gotta say something. So, and apparently
Yeah,
enough
that's
people jumped
Orwellian.
enough people jumped at Findaway about that they were like, the response I got was like, nobody is going to use your stuff for anything. It's okay. We took care of all of that. So there are a lot of people who are hot about that, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching for that kind of stuff to be snuck in, because
Yeah.
I don't want them using my. I don't know what you would call my writing style, but apparently people like it, so I don't want to like have this machine replicate it, and then I'm no longer needed.
Oh, and there was a good response to this guy's quote conclusion. By that logic, since farm workers are underpaid, we should bring back feudalism. Because obviously they're just working for the love of their craft.
That is brilliant. I love that. Feudalism is a great idea.
Like right, or what was it, Herman? Your point was really well thought out and really thorough. That guy's point was very succinct
Yeah.
and at least as effective.
Yeah. Well, when he says something like that, who did he just piss off? Authors. What do authors do? Right. So
Right,
he's
yeah.
going to have a lot of
You know-
material to go through now.
I would ask this guy and be like, will you now be advising Hollywood screenwriters to do the same, to just offer their scripts for free? Will you be offering, should directors direct films for free? Like, what?
Dude, you're doing
This
it.
sounds like an argument.
I'm a
for
blue
doing-
collar worker. I should just build my buildings for free. Honestly, I don't
Dude,
know.
we
why
all
haven't
know
thought
you're
about that
Why
doing
before.
don't
it
you?
just for the intellectual stimulation.
Yeah, exactly. That's what-
Obviously, only people teaching gender studies at a modern American college is worthy of a salary.
Yeah,
I just think these tech companies are strip mining. They're just strip mining us for like all of our intellectual property. They're just strip mining. You know, part of why the strikes were happening is because they're figuring out too late these low tier actors that they are being strip mined. You know, for their
Hail, Fu Man Blue.
Fu Man Blue in the chat.
Fu Man Blue.
Founding member of the Swords and Starships channel.
Hello.
Welcome to the stream.
You got my naturally high voice compared to that. Damn.
Gee, I can match you as well.
Yeah, and imagine how well he'll do when he uses the voice changer to match you.
I know. No, I've studied voices a little bit, and I'm trying to get better at it. But no, I did learn a really good trick for a man trying to do a woman's voice. It's not about raising your pitch, which you should do a little bit, but it's more about where you generate the sound from. With most men, they generate the sound from their throat or from their diaphragm in their chest, and that's why it kind of has partially why it has that deeper sound. But with a woman, the best way to imitate a woman, at least I found as a guy, is to speak with the front of your mouth. Generate the sound up here. So it's instead of me talking like this, it'd be like, yeah, so I'm just gonna be talking like this, and just like kind of brings it down a little bit.
You
Change
did not
your
sound
pitch.
like a woman at all.
No, I know. I wasn't doing the
That's
full.
kinda
You need to talk like
for
Gabriel
doing voices,
Iglesias at the
though.
drive-through.
Yeah, especially
for yourself.
the front
I
of
thought
your
I heard
mouth, and
Jessica Rabbit.
even using the nose a little bit, that really helps with generating a more effeminate voice.
Oh,
Oh,
you mean
dude.
you mean like this, Otter? I know you
Yes,
would be into someone who
exactly
talks
like
like
that.
You
this.
sound like a nerd.
Wow, you
Actually,
sound kinda
Otter's
sexy.
more into.
You know these guys. 4 big guys.
I tried to do a deep voice when I was recording for James. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
my
it
throat
was-
hurt so bad after. It didn't go well.
Dirt Machi.
4 big guys, and I got to. Anyway,
Anybody's heard that?
let's go back. Okay, we're back.
Yeah. So what were we talking about before we went all?
We got
A-
distracted.
A firm
voiced away.
masculine handshake.
We were talking about some socialist dickhead telling you to give your books for free.
Yes.